Hey you guys, it's your girl Starr Kraziness, and I'm coming to you with another recap of Love and Hip Hop ATL Season 5, Episode 6, Mother of All Problems. And in this episode, I tell you, it wasn't nothing but problem after problem after problem after problem after problem. So let's get on into these problems. So first we have Mimi, Joselyn, Chris. Of course, it recapped from where we left off with the last episode. Basically, they was doing this little small chit chat, and Mimi goes to say that the girls ain't coming. I had a housewarming party. They ain't gonna come. So, hey, cause Joselyn, asked, "Where's the other girls?" They ain't coming. They ain't checking for you, just like you ain't checking for them, cause they know you messy. But I'm here for it, of course. So she was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I still gone ahead and drop my little bombs of tea anyway." So, it's some other stuff they had talked about, but that was irrelevant to me. So, but what was it? One thing I wanted to say? Yes, crit. No, I'll bring that up in the next scene. Okay. So Stevie, she leaves from them. Joselyn leaves from them, after a little chit chat and stuff like that. Stevie J and Scrap De Leon comes in. So, Stevie J coming in like he the life of the party, like always. Like, what's up? What? What? Okay. So he goes over there to Mimi and Chris, gives him a hug, greets him, same Scrap De Leon does the same, blah blah blah. He ends up calling Chris beautiful. I mean, she's not ugly, so, but comes to find out she don't like that word. She like, well, you could have said handsome. You're not a dude. Just because in your mind mentally you're not a dude, okay? You're not transgender, where you tweet. No, you. It's just like these safety words she can't use, like, or when they're intimate. Mimi can't touch her here because it reminds her of being a girl, which you are. I mean, dang. But I ain't gonna get into that. Mm-mm. So not Joselyn, Mimi, she further goes to say, "Yo, what's up with your wife? I heard she blackmailing Carly Red. Basically, if Carly Red even speak any disrespectful words behind Jocelyn's name, it's going down. She's giving whatever information she has to the blogs, and they can run and rip with the information however they want to." Steve like, dang, is this why she want everybody at the party? Cause she want to start riffraff? Yeah. She want to show off on people. So then Scrap De Leon, he like, So Auntie, well, he called it TT Jocelyn started some other issue with other people too. Okay. So, but he wasn't gonna bring up the issue what happened with Tommy coming over to the crib, doing all this extra stuff, and then well, no, she ain't even told him. But okay, I'm going a little too fast. But yeah, he didn't want to bring that up out of respect of Stevie J. So he did. So Tommy walks in, and I'm like, she was. I forgot she was invited because so much been going on with her lately. I don't even know. But she walks in, prancing around. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And so then she comes to Joselyn, and she says basically, it ain't no girl, there ain't no ugly girl at Scrap De Leon's place. So I mean, where you getting your information from? That's not what went down or whatever. I didn't see nobody. I mean, she clearly tore up the place, going upstairs in the laundry room, in the closet, behind the chairs, like. So she didn't see nobody. And she was like, "Oh, okay, well, that's what I heard. But I got something for that, So then Scrap De Leon come across, well, he walks over there where not Diamond. Lord have mercy. Joselyn and Tommy at. And so he goes to say that what's up, because he knew Tommy was like on her last nerve to where she was gonna just go off if anything else happened to come up. So Jocelyn didn't waste no time of saying, well, you know that that KK, which is Scrap de Leon mama, and Stevie J, which is supposed to be his uncle, which I'm still confused because even towards the end of the episode when Jocelyn had sat down and Stevie J and they was talking about the whole situation of them, having intercourse or whatever, she said that's not his real sister. I'm still confused. Somebody help me. Is they really related? But yeah, so she was like, they were intimate. That what she called it. They did the Dillio or Dilly something. She said, and Scrap was like, what is it? What? Boy, they had sex. And so he was like, no, you crossed the line. No, that's And then Jocelyn gonna make a little smart remark. Maybe that's daddy. Or I was like, oh gosh, she ain't. So we get off that, and so thank God, cause I didn't even know what was gonna go down. But what was it? They finally premiere her video, Go to Church, and everybody was getting a little feel of it. Okay, Scrap he came, Kurt he came, and all the rest of the people that you saw on your TV screen came. And they was like, okay, she doing a little something, she doing a little something. And Chris gonna make a remark. Oh, okay, I see her. The video was, it's a little popping. She got a nice, I'm like, really, Chris, really. But then we have a guest appearance in the building. Come in is Dawn. And we all know her from past seasons. She was cool with what is it, Jocelyn, but she was talking malicious stuff about her and Stevie, how they not married, how she had to do this for Jocelyn, that for Jocelyn. Then, on last season she had was talking bad mouth about Mimi, and she ended up stealing Jessica dime piece from her, all that. But anyway, she came through the building. Tommy didn't like that. She had ill feelings about that, and that just made more fuel to her fire, that she was already pumped up about what Jocelyn said, and then she having this whole thing with Scrap de Leon and then the baby mom. It was just lit another you might as well just put her in a rocket and just send her on home. But yeah, so she come in, but basically it was supposed to be like a peacemaker thing between Jocelyn, Mimi, and Dawn. And she was like, we all gotta stick together, let the past be the past. Then all of a sudden, Tommy come walking, talking about something, I love y'all, right? But look, check this out. What's my name? What's my name? You talking all this mess, what's my name? And so of course she like what is it? Cujo. She like Cujo. She just foaming at the mouth, ready to on you and just tear up into you. So they had to escort her out the building. And she walked out, and she was basically saying that Dawn spreaded rumors about her, talking about people don't know where she came from and all that. I'm like, oh my goodness, really? So yeah, that was that scene. Then we get to Bambi and Tam. Basically, Walker and Tammy set up this blind date for. I said Walker and Tam. Yeah, Tammy set up this blind date for Bam and his homeboy Chaz, which is like a brother to him. That he knew him for years. So how you had a relationship with people. They fam. So, what is it? Tammy and Bambi, they talking, chit chatting. She a little nervous. She don't know what to expect or whatever. So then Walker and Chaz come in, introduce. They said, well, he introduced himself and stuff like that. So basically, Bambi gonna say, oh, he looks like Jesus. No, boo. No. And he gonna say, "Oh, you like the Virgin Mary." You know, she was kikiing over there. You know, play flirt or whatever. Ooh, I got my mouth. Cool. So then you know, she just get into the what is it, the nitty gritty. Basically, like, what's up with these? I heard you got kids, you know. So what's up with these baby mamas and blah blah blah. And he was like, well, you know, they stay in their lane, and the person you was dealing with, you know, I guess he didn't introduce y'all right the way y'all can be on the right path, and you know, I'm gonna introduce you right, you know, so you don't have to worry about that extra stuff. I was like, okay, okay. And she's like, oh, I think I like him, you know, whatever. I was like, yeah, we know how you is with your these crazy dudes, I should say. Okay. On another note, so we go to Sass, Stevie J, and Scrap. They call up Scrap De Leon calls up Stevie J because it's a problem. It's a problem, a big problem, and it's all because of Joselyn. So, you know, he gets up there with them. You know, he was just saying, dang, what was going on with Tommy? Scrap De Leon ain't trying to hear that. He said, Tommy is Tommy, but what's up with TT Joselyn? She starring rumors, she doing all this and stuff like that. Sass was like, you need to take care of it because we haven't, out of respect, we trying to respect her, out of respect for you because you fam and she's fam too. But you know, you real fam, whatever. And he was like, look, I don't know what Joselyn trying to do or what she even trying to, you know, what she's trying to get at or whatever. But we all know I'm your unk. That's your mama. That's all that you need to know. Me and her didn't have no type of relations. We cool. They like, okay, we understand the dynamics. But check Joselyn. Because we don't want to, you know, come to that where we have to check her. Because we got mad respect for you, unk. So you need to handle this ASAP. All right. He understand. He said he gonna talk to her. Blah 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 blah. So we get the press, which is Rashida's boutique. She has out there in Buckhead in the Phillips Plaza. If y'all in ATL, you know, go check that out. So she's talking to her mom. They bring up the whole Kelsey situation. About how she wants to be signed to D-Lo's records. Whew, damn. Trying to be signed to D-Lo's records, but they ain't trying to hear that right now because she can't even show up to press, you know, which is a boutique Rashida have on time. She can't even show up on time. She can't. She always be on the phone, blah blah blah. So Rashida was like, everybody done stepped up, but her. She ain't doing nothing, and she get attitudes with the customers. You know, she just not. She's not a good employee right about now. So she said she had to send her home, and the mom was like, "Yeah, I just don't know what's going on with her." Blah blah blah. So Rashida was like, "Well, since me, y'all get this, since me, Kurt, and Scrap made up, why don't you know try you and Mama D have a sit down and work these issues out." Mama D looked at her. Hell no. Let me repeat again. Hell to the no. I ain't trying to sit down with that crazy woman. She got me messed up. Did you not see the incident that happened a couple of days ago? Blah blah blah. And she was like, I know, Mom, but you know, we made up. We know y'all can make up. You know, yeah, we know Mama D is off her rocker. Like, seriously, she needs to make sure she takes her meds every day, all day. So, well, not all day, but whenever it's prescribed for her. Mama Rashida, I'm just gonna go with that. She like, no, I can't do it. I cannot have a sane conversation with a crazy lady. Come to find out, you know, Rashida mama, she going to school for psychology, so she trying to put her little knowledge of psychology and what she learned in her classes. Talking about some, yeah, she ain't taking her medicine. Some not clicking up in her noggin or whatever. And basically she was like, what she had said. She's bipolar. I mean, I think everybody that came to that conclusion that Mama D is bipolar or she be having personality disorder. I don't know what's going on with her. But Rashida Mama was like she don't want to settle the beef she has with Mama D because she's not ready. And I think that's petty. You know, as a grown woman, go ahead. Say what you gotta say. If it don't go out the way people want it to go out, then at least you sat down and tried to work it out. You know, it's all about trying. So basically, Rashida mom was like, I'm not really feeling it. I'll think about it, but it's still gonna be no. So I was like, well, damn. So we get to Mama D and Ernest. And I really want to go past this because the way it was just nasty. I just really didn't even want to cover it. But then I was like, well, no, you know, it wouldn't be right to the people. So after they did all their little foreplay, I don't even know if that was foreplay. I don't even know what it was. I didn't even want to keep looking at it. But she asked Ernest, you know, to get the lube so they could go ahead and do their thing, or she can go ahead and do her, you know, thing. And he said he ain't got no more. I ain't got no more lube for you, baby. I ain't got no more lube. Which sent her on a whirlspin. She went from I got you two. No, what she said? She said, I got you a job. Two at that. I'm paying the bills. You ain't giving me no loving. Like what you what is going on with you, Ernest? And his defense was like, well, you knew I was having a struggle before we even got married. You know, it's hard out here for Ernest, y'all. It's hard out here. And he said, you just don't understand. Like, you knew my situation before you said I do. Okay? I'm working two jobs just to maintain you. Hey, that rhyme. But she's saying he ain't paying no bills. She still got to pay the bills. And I guess she got to love on herself because Mr. Little Ernest ain't doing the job. And clearly, he wasn't doing the job because yeah. But yeah. So that's all I want to say on that matter, because I just thought it was funny. So then we get to Deb, Tammy, Rashida, and Tammy other friend. So basically in this scene, Tammy tells Deb about how she hooked up, was it Chaz and Bambi together, you know, like on a blind date, and Mama D was like, not Mama D, Deb was like, hold up. Now we know how her and Scrap been doing, and we don't even know if that is finished yet, because they be off and on, off and on. Like Rashida said, like a little light switch. They on one day, then they off it, so we don't really know. And Dale was like, you know, I just want Chaz to be careful because he's a good guy. Blase, blase, blase. And so then Rashida goes and tells Deb about what Mama D did when she came in there to defend Scrappy by laying her little hay of nest, hay of nest, and telling Rashida Mama to lay an egg and not a rotten one. I'm like, oh my gosh. And she was like, not Mama D, Deb was like, I'm baffled because she never did, you know, she never acted like this around me, so I don't even know who y'all talking about. She always acts civilized. Really? No. Every time I see Mama D, she is in another whole planet. Like, literally. I just don't know if she is. I just don't know. So, where she was like, well, if you don't mind, could you, like, be there? Because, you know, they'll look up to you and, you know, maybe they'll show some more respect type towards each other if you could just be like a mediator or whatever. And Dale was like, I don't know, but hey, we gotta be role models for our children, so I'll go ahead and step in. Just let me know when, where, and we can make this happen. When I tell you, The whole plan was to get them back talking, back cool, at least on cool terms, or being cordial around each other. Total opposite. We learned out some more stuff, but we'll get to that later. So then we have Joselyn and Stevie J. So Joselyn, she feeling all over herself, drinking, I guess, champagne or whatever. Then Stevie J come in with some flowers, and she was like, "What trouble you done got into now? Cause you only bring me flowers when you get in trouble. So what's up?" And he was like, "No, uh, I'm just, want to bring you some flowers." So they later go in and talk about the party. And he was like, what was the whole thing of you bringing Dawn? You know how she did us. You know how she basically, poo-pooed on our name and stuff like that. And she was like, well, that's the past, baby. Get over that. We trying to grow, be successful, and do the damn thing. So I ain't really trying to check for the past. And he was like, but still, she was like, look, we ain't gonna talk about that no more. He was like, fine, okay. Well, let's talk about this. Why did you go and tell Scrap de Leon that me and KK had relations? And she was like, well, I just heard it from some of my people that y'all was in the sheets together. And he was like, no, we was not in the sheets. Why would that's fam. And she goes to say, she's not even your real sister, Stevie. And like I'm saying, is that his sister or not? Please let me know. So she just like, no. And he was like, well, I'm gonna need you to go tell the boys that you wasn't right about that. That wasn't, the information you got wasn't right. And she was like, no, I am not. And you damn sure ain't gonna tell me what to do. But I am not going to tell them that that's not true, because I don't know if it is or if it isn't true. I'm just going basically off of what my homie said, and she values her homie's opinion, and she's like, they know what they talking about type friends. So she's like, no, I'm not going back. She was like, I won't mention it again, I won't bring it up, but I'm not going back on anything of what I said. And I was like, all right, okay, let it do what it do, Jocelyn. So Stevie just did the issue. If you had that's just, if y'all are really family, that's just nasty. Okay, I just want to put that out there. It's just gross. Okay, so then we get to Westview Cemetery. And basically, the fam, the Scrap, Sass, all of them, they go to the cemetery every time Dollar birthday comes up, and I actually put like a little picture, saying rest in peace and all that. So at the beginning of the video, as you saw. So yeah, they go to the cemetery every time Dollar birthdays comes up. Basically pay their respects, tell them they love them, they miss them, they always think about them, this and that. And so, they, while they doing their little thing, they see, like a car coming, and who comes out the car? KK. They telling me, telling us, the viewers, that KK ain't even been to the grave site in 7 years. And I'm like, and I guess 7 years back to when he had passed away. And I'm like, well, damn. But she says she's just afraid to release him, because when she actually goes to the grave site and actually sees the headstone, is it tombstone? Tombstone, headstone? When she actually sees it, she's like, it just puts in her mind that, yeah, he's gone for good. Like, he's not coming back. And she never wants to face that. So now she's like, she's going to face it. And she's going to, be in. Because, I mean, you know that when they leave this place, they supposed to go to a better place. They don't have to deal with they don't have to deal with the struggles of life. It's, as itself. So to me, it's a sad moment, but it's also like, like they better off wherever they at than here, you know. But I understand, especially like if I lose somebody close to me, it'll probably be hard for me to go, but I still go because it's like it's still a part of you, and so they're still a part of you. They'll always be a part of you. But yeah, so she comes to the gravesite. She walks up, and she gets very like distraught, like she can't handle it. So of course her sons, they go back down to the car and like, Mama, come on, come on, And she just realized that life is too short. You can't be holding these grudges, especially with fam. Family's supposed to always have your back, always be there. To get you through the good, the bad, the ugly. So yeah, so they supposedly made up or whatever. And hopefully they can get some healing going on and let us know the truth about this whole her and Stevie J, because I am ready to know the truth. Okay. But now we get to the mother's brunch, as Rashida calls it. And it's at this place called Cook Hall. So Miss Deb is there already and comes who hold on. Try to get my thoughts right. Miss Deb is in there, and then comes Rashida and her mama. And Rashida was like, I just wanted to, have this little brunch to like bring us all together, since me and Scrap made up and blah blah blah. But she did not tell her mama that Mama D was coming. So Scrap opens the door. Who's behind Scrap? Mama D. Rashida mama was like, oh hell no. Y'all, and she was like trying to get up, but Rashida like pulled her back down like, no mama, y'all gonna settle this. Because I just can't take it. Me and Scrap can't be cool, and our mama's not cool. It's just not gonna fly. And then, and then Mama D walked through the door, and Dad was like, yeah, how are you? How are you? And Mama D was like, I was fine until I walked in the door. And so, what she call her? I guess Mother Hen. But yeah. So they going back and forth, cause she bring up the whole Mama D bring up the fact that Rashida wasn't there for Scrap. And Rashida mom was like, okay, I understand you could have basically you could have handled that somewhere else besides the store. You didn't have to bring all that drama in the store. And she was like, well, your daughter should have came and it wouldn't have been no drama. I was like, oh my gosh. So they're going back and forth, and Mama D, that lady, I don't know. All I know, this lady done pulled out her purse, got a feather, and start just saying like, look, some stuff she was saying. I don't know what it was, but she was talking about she had to get the evil spirits away. Talking about she had to get her a feather and some sage and just go like this because she had to get the evil spirit. She just couldn't take it. It was just getting too much for her, overwhelming. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Then Dale was like, did you take your medicine? She's like, nope. I was like, clearly you didn't take your medicine. So then they done brought Ernest. I don't even know why he was there, but they brought Ernest in the meet. Well, no, Mama D brought whatchamacallit? Rashida mama asked like, why is he here? And then Mama D was like, well, he here because, basically he ain't doing other stuff that I need him to do, but when I need him to be right by my side, he right there. I was like, oh gosh. Which I guess he felt salty about. So he gonna say, well, y'all, Mama D, she got a drinking problem. Okay. And everybody like, oh, snap. Well, that explains a lot. So Mama D just went off. She was like, why you had to go put my business out in the street? What's wrong with you? She done later and told us that well, you have to use lube to get it up, and you ain't paying no bills around the house. And I'm like, oh my gosh, all this could have been avoided with just the I'm sorry, whoop dip whoop. But everybody's hitting below the belt. I'm like, really? So then I forgot how this even came about. But no, I forgot how. Yeah, I forgot how this even came about. But I know Deb, she had said, well, Bambi, she went on a date with my son Chaz, and Scrap was like, rewind. She what? Yeah, she went on an blind date with my son Chaz. You know, Tammy and walking on him. He was like, oh, really? This is what the Bampster is doing. Yes. Yes. Yeah. She's moving on. And so he goes to ask Rashida, so you knew about this? And she was like, yeah, I did. But, and then Mama D had interjected and said something. And she was like, well, that's your friend. That's supposed to be like your brother. You know, you should tell him. And Scrap was like, yeah, you should have told me. And then Rashida Mama was like, no, she didn't want to be a messy friend, blah, blah, blah. It's just crazy. That's what I'm saying. When you have mutual friends, it gets really, really like, dang, should I tell? Should I not? I don't know. So yeah, if anybody they got mutual friends and say two of them had broke up, just try not to put yourself in the middle because it's very, very, it can get very nasty. Okay, but yeah. And Deb going was like, well, see, we can't help Mama D. She just sexually frustrated. You know, that's something that Ernest gonna have to do. You know, he gonna have to help with that because this we can't do nothing about it. So yeah, that was basically that episode. Mama D got up. She talking about she got to go. Deuces. She ain't got time for this. She need to go back to her little palace to see the guards and all that. I mean, she didn't say that, but I'm just putting you in the mind perspective of what she has going on up in her head because I just don't know what to do. I really don't. But on this next episode, it's getting juicy. I can tell you that. It is getting juicy in the ATL. But anyways, that was my recap of Loving Hip Hop Atlanta season 5 episode 6. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Make sure you like, subscribe if you haven't, if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you on the next recap. Bye.
You moving it back? On the plug. They say, yeah. Hey. They say fame makes you change.